Hello my friend, and welcome to a new Solitaire video. Tonight, as you can see, we have the 4 original Ape and Friends decks. So you know what that means. 1 game per deck. So let's put away our jokers and promos and just get into tonight's bit of fun. So Ape and Friends deck number 1 first. So let's put these to the side. And you know what else is coming? The 5th Ape and Friends deck is just around the corner. So, before we get into any of that, I hope your day has been well and you're ready to relax, play some solitaire, and just have a good night of cards. So just before we deal out this first game, please get yourselves nice and comfy. And let's get ready for this first game of the night. I'm excited. These Ape and Friends decks are always some of my favorites, just for its uniqueness and the inclusion of all of you throughout the time we've been doing this. So for those of you new, I came up with the idea of an Ape and Friend deck for every 100 videos. So there's a set limit of how many there will be. So right now, since we're in our 500th video at the moment, might as well get into our 5th Ape and Friends deck. So I am excited to announce tonight we begin our 5th Ape and Friends deck. And for those of you who've been around pretty much every night, you are already in the deck. And for those of you who would like to be in the deck, please feel free to let me know. Hopefully there's a spot by the time you let me know. If not, we'll find out by the next video. And here it is. Still brand new. In its packaging, the 5th Ape and Friends deck will be a lovely blue. So keep an eye out for that as we have a nice start to our night. So just to give a little, I guess, history of the Ape and Friends deck, I believe it started around the 80th Solitaire video. Because at the time, I believe I had a couple requests to do something like that. So I thought, what the heck, it sounds fun. So let's do it. And then halfway through, or almost once this deck was filled up, I instantly wanted to make another one. But I thought, you know what, how could I make these decks more special and exclusive? And the idea came, 1 for every 100 videos. And I like the way that sounded. So that means there will only be 10 Ape and Friends decks. And that is just so cool for me to just picture once we get to that point. And so far you might see some names you haven't seen in a while. Or maybe you see them every night, so that's another little cool thing about it. So once again, if you would like to be in the Ape and Friends deck for the 500th or even the 600th, surprisingly nowhere for that 5, to pretty much ensure you have a spot, just say, hey, what's up, every night or every couple nights between. I know it sounds like a lot, and I know it is, but if you're willing to do that, I'm willing to save a spot for you until we get to the next Ape and Friends deck. So it's gonna be some time, but you'll forever be in the first 10, the original 10 of the Ape and Friends decks. I think that's so cool. I know I've probably said that like 4 times now, but just going through these, I remember what you'd say, because obviously people are going to come and go throughout this journey to 1000. And if you're stopping by again, hello, how are you? I hope you are well. So you're going to see some people come for a while, then go out, come back, and that's where it's really neat to see who sticks around the most, as we have our first fat stack of the night. And sometimes it's just the luck of getting in on time. Alright, and there we have 3 kings down, which will for sure help us in our long run. And we are good. We just need another ace to have a chance, since that 3 of diamonds is not going anywhere for a while. And it looks like we'll just miss our opportunity to go any longer in this game. So just to prove that there's nothing else left, time for our double check. As there's nowhere for that 6, jack, 8, or 10. And there it is. Game number 1 is officially done. Time to put this deck away and move on to our next. And once all of these decks are officially filled up, I have an idea that will be really fun to do. Once they are filled, double 7s and triple 7s make sense. Let's do one final look through the cards so everybody can have their shot. I'm already seeing some of you stick around from the first 100, which is insane. Oh, my bad. If I didn't leave I don't think I said this, but just leave a comment in what you would like your name to be on the card. It's going to be very hard to get the card that you would want now, so just name and that you'd want to be in the deck, and then boom. You should be in if you watch this video fairly quickly, but even if you still have some time. And we are on our final 4. And there we go. Even Friends, deck 1. Let's get aces show us a black queen. Almost. And here we go. Now, a black king would be just as good. We need kings specifically since we have all of these tens, which require some high cards. Let's wait to see if we can get a black king instead. Oh yeah, I just remembered. Kind of. It's a little related. But for those of you who are channel members, thank you once again. You're awesome. Why am I mentioning that? You may ask. Well, I had another idea a while ago. Just missed it, but I think we'll get the Black King this next turn. Is that channel members have a chance to be put into the members only deck, and it already has some people in there. So a little bit of an extra exclusive deck. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Pretty simple and straightforward. That one may take a while to fill up, but once it's done, it will be just as awesome. There's our Black King. Just wanted to remember that. I knew I was forgetting something. I'm surrounded by so many decks at this point next to me. Ooh, I think we might be done. Oh, wait a second. A second chance thanks to Illumi. Alright. And by the way, for those of you asking, how many decks do I have? I honestly have no idea at this point. But the answer will be known eventually, is the best I can say right now. I'm trying to figure out some other stuff, and trying to track down all of my decks is a bit of a hassle at the moment, so once everything gets situated, I'll give you an estimate. I think it's safe to say, as we get our second fat stack of the night, so far one fat stack per Ape and Friends deck, at least 200 decks. I'm pretty sure that's a safe guess. Let's see, let me just look around real quick. Okay, that's an easy 50. And let me look over here. That's an easy, like, 68. So, 68, why do I know that number exactly? I have to find a way to fit as many decks and spots as I can. Ooh, perfect. We are just rolling in plays, as we might get our first win of the night. Yeah, so at least 200. If you want an exact number, I guess the best way to do that would be to... I do collection videos for how many decks I have, and just to show them off. To see if you would like what's inside, or maybe get one of your own. And... oh, so close. I think I've gone through some decks that I put in storage from that point, so if you count along with how many decks I do in a video, know there are probably an extra 100 from there that are still waiting for their time. Oh yeah, we are on the right track. As there's our 9, 8, 6, show us our 7. No, but that 5. on our first game of the night. And actually, to make it a little more wild for those of you who enjoy the numbers like I do, 3 cards off of a perfect game. So, all of you in the Ape and Friends deck 2 watching this, good job. You have done it. Let's see if the 3rd and 4th deck can deliver at least a fat stack and keep our trend alive. And there we go. And since we just had a victory, we'll do our check through the cards just like this to make it 2 for 1. And again, I am seeing people who are still around now, which is crazy. So all of the spades, as you just saw, with all of the clubs, the hearts, followed by the diamonds, alright, first, victory shuffle, let's do it. Here we go. Oh, a little chunky at first, but do we recover? It's gonna be a while. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ace. So not a bad victory shuffle. But let's see if we can get one that's better. Let's put these back in their box and bring out the 3rd or the Mark III deck. Gosh, I'm just looking at the blue deck right now for the 5th one, and I'm getting excited. I pretty much remember what I'd do when I'd write these. Is that I would first, with the first Ape and Friends deck, I would check after the first hour of uploading to see if anybody commented, since back then it took a while to get some views on the video, and then see if anyone commented if they wanted to be in. I was surprised with how many people wanted that. And then I checked, I think within the first 2 days or so, and the entire deck was filled out. And I used to, I think up until the 2nd deck. But every time I read a name, I would put it in to the deck instantly. Just because I didn't want to be overwhelmed with 52 new names, or 48 I should say, since the aces are reserved for the title. And I think by the time the 3rd deck came around, that's what happened. I would just wait until one day and call it off and say the deck is full. And yeah, it's just been fun. Very, very fun doing it. I remember just opening up a new deck, trying my best not to mess up a name or make it hard to read, and make it fit on the card just right so you could read it. While it was just making sure they're all plays, while it wouldn't get dirty either. It was really tough avoiding smudges and a lot of things. And I'd spend probably an hour and a half each name, checking the comment to see where it was at. Triple tens once again, but that did not hurt us last time. It's just really enjoyable doing it, so I'm looking forward to this one. There we go. And I'm already starting to see some repeats over the decks, which is really cool. From the first deck to the third deck. I don't think we have any aces in our hand, if I remember correctly. And it looks like our third Ape and Friends deck could not quite deliver as the first two, as there's nowhere for the jack. 7, 5, 2, 7 once again, 4 or 6. Couldn't get past the triple tens this time. So let's clean it up and see which cards were left unturned. And then we'll look through to everyone's name once we're done, as we have double jacks, double aces, double eights, triple aces, no surprise there, double nines, quadruple aces, and double sixes, no surprise in those aces. Surprisingly quick. So a quick run through the names, and it's also fun going through this for me, remembering some of your profile pictures. I really enjoy a lot of them, especially if they have animals in it. I think our fourth Ape and Friends deck, I should say, I forgot to say let me know what you'd like your name to be. So we should be seeing more usernames in this one. So on to our last deck of the night. And there's no longer just 4 decks after tonight. It will soon be 5. As here is the 4th deck. Let's see. There we go. Nothing left in the box. And let's do this. Let's go 3 more shuffles. Another little neat thing you probably don't notice is that each deck handles differently. The first deck is obviously a little more worn. The second one, not as much as the first. The third, not as much as the fourth. And this one pretty much feels brand new. But no longer after this one. And let's deal out our final game of the night, as we cannot avoid these pesky tens, can we? Now we have double 4s. Let's hope it's only at that. Alright, here we go. should say, 7, 8, double 10, or king. And the third and fourth decks need to pick up the slack for next time. Let's check which cards were left unturned this time, as we have double 8s already. Double 6s, triple 8s, triple 6s, double aces, double queens, and triple aces. So, 3 triplets. That is not good luck. And for the names, here we go. It's weird how you remember the small things. I remember pretty much writing almost all of these names down. Really crazy too. And as we close this up, my friend, I hope you enjoyed. It's been fun. Next time we will have 5 decks. And that's just very exciting to think about and start doing soon. So, that is the final time. We will just have 4 decks. And our quest to 10. Yes, another quest. 4 decks. Actually, let's clean up this field real quick to make it look not so messy. That's a little better. Deck 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together. Up next is the 5th. And with that, I hope you have yourself a relaxing remainder of your night. Many sweet dreams. And until we meet again, please stay safe and eat your fruits and vegetables.